Research and development play a crucial role in both local and global economic growth and societal development. However, many low-income countries, especially those in sub-Saharan Africa like Ethiopia, are not fully benefiting from these advantages. According to a 2021 report by UNESCO, these countries only allocated 0.49% of their GDP to research and development in 2014, and this figure only slightly increased to 0.51% in 2021. This slow progress is due to various factors that range from individual to systemic issues. Fortunately, there are efforts to change this situation. For instance, institutions such as JUCAN University are working hard to tackle these challenges and make a difference. One such example is JUCAN University Clinical and Nutritional Research Center, JUCAN. JUCAN's story is one of collaboration and sustainability, with a focus on critical nutrition research, particularly in the domain of body composition measurements. The nucleus of JUCAN was formed 15 years back to improve the quality of clinical care for children with severe acute malnutrition in the former JUCAN University Specialized Hospital.
Particularly medical services, at the same time also doing research. So these are universal pillars of any academic institution, So as individuals working in an academic institution, as well as an institution, these are the three main functions. There was a need to do research, and there was a need to improve the community services. But from this, the most important gap was in the research capacity. Because as you know, as any of the local universities, research capacity in terms of human expertise or infrastructure, even the culture is not well developed. So that need was the biggest trigger for initiating this project.
My engagement with JUCAN dates back in 2018 when JUCAN is about to take off. So my friend, Professor Tsunoel, invited me to the group, and because of the invitation, I joined. And I'm a biomedical researcher before that, and I didn't have any interest on nutrition research because of my background.
Initially, when JUCAN was established, it was purely nutrition and malnutrition related, but over the years, it has expanded to include other diverse areas, including non-communicable diseases, infectious diseases, mental health issues, implementation research, reproductive health issues. So we have diversity of studies we are conducting around these areas. So we are no more limited to nutrition and malnutrition related.
JUCAN is one of the leading research centers we have in the university. So we are applying the lessons we learned from this center in the area of research mentorship, and we have initiated research mentorship program overall in the university from what we have.
There is some degree of problem running in the community. So in an effort to do that, there was an initiative by UNICEF supporting the Ministry of Health to develop standardized treatment across the country. And if I'm not wrong, at the time, it has been like 15 years or more. At the time, 5 staff from the university were sent for this training to Addis. And I was one of them.
After my involvement in the project startup, so I try to understand how my background as a biomedical scientist, as a microbiologist, can be connected with the nutrition. So finally I understood that it's very important to link these two disciplines together to understand the basic human nature and response to infectious disease, and also the interaction with nutritional status. And it was a great opportunity to work with my friend Tsunoel, and gradually we try to build and expand our group. That very good chemistry of people is very important to create a group. We invited more people, more colleagues to the team, and that was a fantastic opportunity to discuss, to learn from each other, to inspire each other. Because from the very beginning, I have very much enthusiastic research undertakings to understand and respond to public health problems.
We came to that training. It was almost 1 week training given by a professor from Ireland, highly experienced, and he's like the prominent person in that field. In fact, he's the one who wrote the first guideline, the international guideline, the WHO guideline for treatment of malnutrition. So we received that training, you know, it was exciting time, there was a lot of discussion and so on, and we came back home. And weeks passed and nothing happened. Of course, nothing happened because we did nothing differently. So, you know, it started to click in my mind, okay, what's going to change if we are not doing anything? Mortality is the same, you know, the treatment is the same. We're giving the routine way of treating without any standardization. So I said, why don't I write a small grant, and I request a small grant and ask UNICEF, the one who took us for the training, to establish the unit. So what's interesting in that document is, you know, the main purpose, as I said, is to improve the treatment. But I still remember, I said, it's like a vision. I said, this unit will be a nucleus for future research center. Wow, this is another dimension. So I said, Samuel, I think you need to, you know, start doing research here. I said, yeah, that was also what I was, you know, planning in the you know, even though it was not the primary objective, that was also written in the project. So he said, let me connect you with experts in the northern part of the world. Okay, I said. Then UNICEF helped us to get connected with those experts. I can confidently say we started the first center of excellence in doing body composition. You know, the research area, our research area was on nutrition and health, but from that we developed this component of facility, you know, high-tech facility, state-of-the-art equipment in measuring body composition.
Through time, I try to define my role and contribution to the team and working with colleagues. The project I worked on HIV and malnutrition is a kind of project that involves several aspects of HIV and the link with the malnutrition, because HIV patients at that time, mortality was high. JUCAN contributed to the science, to knowledge generation, particularly in relation to malnutrition. So this capacity is located in Ethiopia in resource limited settings where malnutrition is very important. So understanding malnutrition through this capacity, through this support is key, and this contributes to many programmatic decisions.
Nestled in the beautiful green hills and valleys of Jimma town in Ethiopia, JUCAN is committed to advancing health research and aims to develop and enhance methods and tools for preventing, treating, and controlling malnutrition and infectious diseases. Additionally, JUCAN provides training opportunities to young Ethiopian researchers. Over the years, JUCAN established several research partnerships in Ethiopia by building a strong team of researchers and functional partnerships with like-minded individuals and institutions locally and globally. JUCAN's contribution to the emergence of productive scientists in Ethiopia have been nothing short of significant, with a laser focus on relationships between malnutrition and body composition to unravel the long-term impact, including the onset of non-communicable diseases and cognitive function. JUCAN's team of brilliant scientists worked tirelessly to generate evidence to inform policy and program in Ethiopia.
With regard to capacity building, we have created an infrastructure where people could conduct their studies. We have supported the hospital, and also these trainees we give or we create opportunity for, they build their capacity, and one way or another they contribute their own share toward this institutional goal from wherever institutions they come, and at the large picture they will be contributing a lot toward this the national programs.
Whenever we just start to discuss about new projects, so we question what kind of contribution we can make from that kind of engagement. So we train people we establish infrastructure. So through this partnership, the body composition measurement infrastructure is really great contribution. So that helped us for the training of many expertise on this area. Now we have that capacity in Jimma, which is a rare infrastructure and expertise, not only in Africa but also many other low and middle income countries.
We have created different training opportunities for different categories of students, mainly at the postgraduate level for the master's and PhD students. Even if we don't host any master's or postgraduate program in our group, we support different students who are enrolled at different institutions.
JUCAN environment, that small group created a very good mentorship environment. That means we support each other, we teach each other, so we inspire each other. So mentorship is one thing we had and also currently existing. Through support from TDR, we developed a mentorship practical guide for institutionalization low and middle countries.
The capacity which is already developed, I believe JUCAN will contribute in solving major problems in the area of nutrition and infectious diseases, and the results will really solve the problems we have in the community.
So the collaborations also helped, as a capacity building, to have a number of equipments at the site. This also helped more PhD students, masters to perform different researches with the capacity that was developed.
We're starting to generate evidence, and of course we are building also on that on other projects. So now, for example, one of the projects we are currently running is to go back to historical places where there was historical severe nutritional crisis or famine, for example, in the north, in the east part of the country. So we have started that study. We go back and look at adults, survivors of that time, and see how that has affected their health. So we're trying also to expand our research in this type of exercise. So this is really important, because if you want to prevent chronic illnesses, people are dying like anything these days. People have stroke now. It has become so common. It's like a household name. Even ordinary people know about stroke. Doing research, training, academic staff on research. Particularly, our focus was to attract clinicians into research, medical doctors into research. This is not common. Medical doctors, we are trained to treat patients, not really to ask questions and answer questions using research. That needs really a competence, its own training. So now we have several medical doctors who have got PhD, who are now running their own research projects, clinical trial.
Me as an example, because I worked in JUCAN, later on I was able to develop a clinical or establish a clinical trial unit in Jimma University. So this is a big clinical trial unit that we established after the 2014, and we are performing a phase 2 and a phase 3 clinical trials at the site. That also helped me, to develop an infrastructure at a clinical trial unit separately. So whenever you perform a research, it brings an infrastructure development in the area, because the research requires different infrastructures to be at the site.
We have state-of-the-art body composition measurement devices, which we use in our lab to conduct different kinds of body composition related studies. And only few centers own such facilities, so we are pioneer with this regard. So some of the articles I mentioned before, they were produced using this state-of-the-art body composition machine, like the P-pod, bod, and the like. So we also have other laboratory facilities which we use to conduct our several studies, equipped with more recent machines, including hematology, chemistry, and microbiology machines like the backtake machine. So we have established a better facility where we conduct these different kinds of clinical studies.
Collaboration is crucial in a world that is interconnected. JUCAN recognizes this and has made it a central part of its mission to advance nutrition and health research in Ethiopia. The organization has partnered with various national and international institutions, starting with the University of Copenhagen, to improve research capacity. JUCAN's success in these partnerships has helped it attract more funding and establish a reputation for making a significant impact. Despite facing multiple challenges, JUCAN has persisted in its mission and has collaborated with institutions such as the London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine, Valid International, USAID, Danida, and World Food Programme. These partnerships are crucial to sustain JUCAN's success. By working together, the center can address some of Ethiopia's key challenges related to nutrition, food security, and health. JUCAN has emerged as one of the key players in Ethiopia's research landscape. Its unwavering commitment to improving nutrition, food security, and health has not gone unnoticed.
What we learned is that is a different dimension. It needs a different mindset, it needs a different skill, and it happens somewhere else. It doesn't happen in universities. Researchers and researchers are hosted in universities, but the translation happens somewhere else. So what we are currently doing is trying to foster, trying to improve that aspect of the research paradigm or dimension, still keeping our contact with our team in JUCAN. So even though now we are working with policymakers and encouraging them to do or to use evidence, science in their day-to-day practice as well as in the policy making, we are still also keeping our effort in fostering the research environment, and capacity exchange, the local and the external. So that is also one ramification of JUCA's contribution. So even though now we are working in a different institution, there is still continuity of what we have been doing in JUCAN.
Over the years, the center has supported the training of several master's and PhD students, established a state-of-the-art laboratory for determining body composition, and published over a total of 80 scientific articles in peer-reviewed journals.
And another aspect was really encouraging women, female researchers into our team. So we were proactively recruiting women. 30 to 40% of our publications have got females as co-authors, so this was done intentionally, to bring women up in the research dynamics or in the research ecosystem. It can be anecdotal evidence, because why I say anecdotal, we haven't done systematic evaluation of how the research culture changed because of JUCAN. But what I can see is from a piece of shards of evidence is I have my students who have not been directly involved in our project, but they have seen the facility when they were doing their undergraduate or postgraduate. They have seen their instructors being involved with the research, being a research environment. Now I see them somewhere, and now they have started doing their own research. They have started doing research training. When I ask them, say, no, we got inspired because of those facilities at the time. So in a way, this is also something that we feel has brought change in terms of doing research among clinicians.
We try to contact industries. We try to produce policy briefs to communicate the policy makers, hoping that it will be taken up and used by the healthcare system to support HIV patients. Community engagement is very important, as mentioned, because the very purpose of doing research is to improve the livelihood of people, to improve our well-being, especially in medical research. So it's very, very important to engage the people, the beneficiaries, the stakeholders in the design, in the implementation, and also the that facilitates uptake of research findings.
Some 6-7 years ago, we conducted an implementation research on the area of community-based management of newborn sepsis, or community management of possible serious bacterial infections in young infants when referral was not possible. So we produced very important evidences which helped the Ministry of Health of Ethiopia to look into the existing guidelines and change that guidelines. Additionally, the different laboratory facilities we established, which I mentioned earlier on, like backtake machine, the PCR machine we use to conduct different studies, they contribute a lot in improving the clinical practice, because our hospital usually is not equipped with some of these devices, and we may not be conducting these studies in the routine health system. So through the studies we conduct, we provide evidences or information which will be helpful to make a better diagnosis and make better treatment for the patients.
In general, what I want to say about the board pod and also about the JUCAN project is that it is an asset, and as a beneficiary student, I was like, I get many advantages from this project. That is why I am even going well with the year I get admitted to the PhD, and also the way I am going is also good now. Being in the second or third year PhD student and on the step of data collection is really exciting, and it's a good progress, and that is what I am getting, what kind of feedback I am getting from my promoters really.
Mentorship was a very good ingredient and important for scientists, for people working on research. As a country, as a nation, we are moving to a product-oriented research undertaking. So knowledge translating into our day-to-day life and healthcare system. So this process comes from very good research group. So JUCAN is exemplary in that case, and always cherish this group and also experience acquired from this kind of collaboration.
Doing research is, as I said, is a means. It's not an end. You know, at the end of the day, it should change people's lives through developing products, changing policies, changing practices. So our major effort was, having the capacity to do the research, not really giving much attention on the translation piece.
ለኔ ጁካን እንደ አንድ ሪሰርች ሴንተር ለኔ ብዙ የተማርኩበት ላይክ ገና ማስተርስ ግራጁዌት አድርጌ ነው ጆይን ያደረኩት። አንድ አመት አካባቢ ሌላ ቦታ ከሰራው በኋላ ነው ወደዚህ የመጣሁትና ብዙ የተማርኩበት ነው። we had like monthly weekly ሚቲንጎች ነበሩንና በጣም ጓጉቼ የምጠብቀው ሚቲንግ ነው የነበረው። ምክንያቱም በጣም ሲኒየር ሪሰርቸሮች ሲኒየር ኤክስፐርቶች ያሉበት ሚቲንግ ነው እና ላይክ አንዳንዴ ደብተርና እስክሪብቶ ሁላ ይዘን እንመጣ ነበር። ሌሎች ጓደኞቼም አሉ እና እያንዳንዷ እዛ ቦታ ላይ የምትወራው ነገር ትልቅ ቫልዩ ያላት፣ ከዛ ቦታ ከሰማነው በኋላ ሄደን የምናነባቸው አይነት ነገሮች ነበሩ። ጁካን በጣም ይሄ አካዳሚክ ካሪየሬ ላይ ትልቅ ዲቨሎፕመንት እንዳመጣ ፕሮግረስ እንድል ያደረገኝ ትልቅ ቲም ነው።
One of the center of excellence, the global center of excellence in body composition. And we had all the facilities to do that and the expertise. So we started to train nurses, full-time nurses, to do that. For example, we were doing, deuterium dilution. Nobody heard about deuterium dilution technique at the time, and we have air displacement plethysmography and so on. So those were the achievements that came out from this exercise. Of course, we didn't do it alone. There were multiple actors in that, individuals, teams, institutions. So we were grateful for all this. And most importantly, we had our research participants, mothers, their kids, who gave their time and consent to be part of our research. We had excellent partners from the north and locally. An excellent institution which was really giving us the opportunity to exercise our academic interest. Of course, it doesn't mean that there were no challenges. There were also challenges. So, but the most important was that there were lots of committed individuals, and there was excellent team spirit. It was like a family, both the North and the South, and as well as within the team. And we had a sort of, I usually refer it as egalitarian type of system. It's like a flat structure. There was no really hierarchy between, the professors and the junior staff, even the admin staff. Like, we don't call our driver a driver. He's like coordinator,
So there were PhD students that were coming from our collaborators like Copenhagen, and there were PhD students from Ethiopia. So that also, provided a good research environments for different country students to work together. Passing through it, a number of students and also colleagues, including me, benefited a lot from the interaction and from the collaboration, the capacity building that was done in the infrastructure in the area. All these things benefited JUCAN, and also not only JUCAN, and the Jimma University, the country at large, and also all the collaborators, because it was a mutual benefit that was gained between each collaborators.
And we are thankful for those who have contributed, those who have established the center, as well the collaborators from Denmark and other universities all over the world.
JUCAN started about the same time, and it was the other larger research center that has been supporting Jimma University in terms of internationalizing, in terms of upgrading the research capacity, especially in childhood nutrition, malnutrition, infectious diseases, and many other areas relevant to the health sector. So this is one of the research centers that Jimma University prides itself with. We are really proud of the collaborators that this research center, JUCAN, has mobilized. So over 20 international research institutes and universities have been collaborating throughout the last 16 years with the JUCAN team in Jimma University. Now the JUCAN has been upgraded to a research center. It is one of the crucial research centers that we have.
JUCAN has also created a functional and people-centered mentoring environment. Through advocacy and support of a senior member of JUCAN, Jimma University has adapted this experience for institutionalization and university-wide implementation. The process of translating research into policy or practice can be complex, but JUCAN has undoubtedly resulted in noteworthy improvements in malnutrition management practices. While it is important to remember that changes in practice often precede policy adjustments, the impact on policy cannot be overstated.
Research translation also was one of the key areas that this research center has been contributing. So nationally and globally, meaningful research findings and evidences have been translated into policy briefs that have informed policy making in Ethiopia. So that is very critical contribution of this project. Over 80 peer-reviewed journals have come out through the research capacity built through this research center. So along with the other research centers that we have in Jimma University, this was one of the research institutes or research centers that was responsible for Jimma University to be selected as research university.
There was a good amount of resource coming, research funds. The university is not allocating directly fund, but it gives us a space in our time. So we look for international grants. So we were successful in bringing big projects, and the resource is another issue that kept it running, and expanding our network. So we started with the University of Copenhagen, which we still do, but more and more partners started to collaborate with us. So far we have, I can say, more than 20 partners, both in Africa, in Asia, in Europe, in North America, and even Canada. So that's expanding network also helped us to keep going.
መጀመሪያ ከአንድ ፕሮጀክት ነበር የጀመርነው። ፕሮሚስ ፕሮጀክት የሚባል አለ። የፕሬግናንት አውትካም ማይክሮኑትሪየንት ሰፕሊሜንቴሽን ኢትዮጵያ የሚባል ላይ ዛና ላይ ፕሮጀክቱን የጀመርነው። ፕሮጀክቶቹ ሲጀመሩ አዲስ ከመሆኑ እኛም አዲሶች ነን። እኛ አለቃም ከኛ ጋር የተመጠሩትም አዳዲስ ሰራተኞችም እኛም ለዚህ አዲስ ነበርን። ከዩኒቨርሲቲ ኦፍ ኮፐንሃገን ጋር በፓርትነርሺፕ እየሰራን ነበረ። እኛ እንግዲህ ሴንስ መስራት ስንጀምርበት ጊዜ ብዙ ችግሮች ነበሩ። አዲስ ስራ ሲጀመር ታውቃላችሁ ብዙ ነገሮች ያጋጥማሉና የቀደመን ችግሮችን ተቋቁመን ለዚህ ደረጃ ደርሰናል ብዬ ነው የሚያስበው። ትልቅ ሰክሰስ ነው ለኛ።
We didn't do things very smoothly. We have been passing through lots of challenges and ups and downs. One of the challenges is we are operating all this based on availability of grants. We look for grants, we apply for calls. When we get funded, we conduct these studies and we support our students and build our facility or strengths around facility. So one of the major challenges is the lack of continuous availability of funds. So at times we have lots of employees, at other times we have very few employees, so we might be struggling to maintain our highly skilled human power and run our high-tech facilities. So that's one of the major challenges we are encountering. We have a difficulty in getting the required items because of the dynamics of the market. Because of changes in the foreign currency issues, we may not obtain all the items or all the machines we demand. So that's another major challenge. All these challenges to keep up our high quality works and support additional students and also expand on our capacity.
የስታፍ ችግር አለ። የሪሰርቸሮች ችግር ነበሩ በዛ ሰዓት። የስፔስ እንዳልኩ ነገር ተቋቁመን በዚህ ደረጃ ደርሰናል። በዛ ሰዓት ምንም ቢሮዎች አልነበሩንም። ዩኒቨርሲቲም ብዙም አንደርስታንድ አላደረግንም ነበር። እንደዚህ አይነት ሪሰርች ሴንተር ማዕከሎች ምናምን ስለሌሉ ብዙም አንደርስታንድ ስላደረጉ ቢሮ እንኳን የለንም። አንድ ቢሮ ነበረ ካለቃዬ ጋር ወይ ከፕሮፌሰር ጽምኔል ጋር ሼር የምናደርገው። እሱ የፔዲያትሪክስ ዲፓርትመንት ሄድ ነበር በዛ ሰዓት። እሱ ክሊኒክ ሲገባ እኔ ደግሞ የሱን ቢሮ ሼር እያደረኩኝ የሱን ሴክሬታሪ።
When we started our collaboration, the first grant we got was to do micronutrient supplements among pregnant women. It was designed to be big research involving like 5,000 women and their babies, giving nutrients in the form of tablets and then following them, their birth outcome and so on. We were a sort of naive at the time. It was 16 years back. This is a challenge as well as an achievement. I'm just giving you this example because just to give you a flavor of how we solve issues. And sometimes what you start as a means will be an end. So doing the research was an end for us. So having the proper policing was a means. So we tried to get ethical clearance for this clinical trial. We got clearance from the university, so we were referred to the National Ethical Clearance Board. We got that, and there was only one paper that was left, and that was approval. So we felt, okay, we are almost at the finishing line to get clearance. So we took that to the respective office, and that guy didn't take him a minute to say, you cannot do it. I said, why? We have fulfilled everything. So no. We have a regulation saying that in this country you cannot do any clinical trial among individuals less than 18 years, pregnant and lactating women, individuals with mental illness, prisoners, and individuals who are working for the researcher. you cannot do clinical trials with this. Okay, come on, this cannot be true. There could be some provision. He showed me, this is it. You cannot do it. Okay, we tried our best, so it took us almost 2 years to solve it. But as I said, the end was to do the research, right? But now the end became changing that policy. So we toiled ups and downs, and that guideline was revised.
The capacity that is coming through this is really huge, and we are looking forward to more collaboration, to more networking, to more research findings, to more policy impacting through evidence that is generated through this research.
I have to also acknowledge the wonderful environment Jimma University for research undertaking. So the working tradition and also environment created by the leadership to support research. Jimma University is fantastic. So that's why JUCAN has been established and continue working with this level of accomplishment and productivity.
I wish that JUCAN become an institution and a working institution, and to get more huge project, to bring huge project and to work here is one of my aim, and also I wish to be one of the PI bringing different projects and also working on different international projects to bring other projects similarly what from previous experiences.
JUCAN ብዙ ስራዎች ሰርቷል እስካሁን ከኢንተርናሽናል ፓርትነሮች ጋር ይሄ ሳውዝ ሳውዝ ኮላቦሬሽን በመትለውም ከአፍሪካ ሀገሮች ጋር ብዙ የሰራ ነውና ብዙ ልምድ ያለው ነው። ብዙ ላይክ ጥሩ ኤክስፐርቶችም ያሉበት ቲም ነውና ለወደፊቱ ለኔ እኔ የሚሰማኝ ከጁካን ጋርም እንደ አንድ ጁካን ውስጥ በቅቶ ፒኤችዲውን እየተማረ እንዳለ ነገም ደግሞ ፒኤችዲን ግራጁዌት ሳደርግ እንደ አንድ ኤክስፐርት ብዙ ስራዎች መስራት አስባለሁ ከጁካን ጋር።
Despite the challenges, progress is being made. And with centers like JUCAN leading the change, the future of research and development in Ethiopia looks bright. With careful research, wealth can be created, the national worth can be increased, and the socio-economic and political situations can be boosted. With every breakthrough, JUCAN gets one step closer to its goal of improving nutrition, food security, and health for all Ethiopians. As the sun sets over the rolling hills of Ethiopia, the work at JUCAN continues. Its collaborative research approach has positioned JUCAN to pave the way in the field of nutrition and health research in Ethiopia. And with the support of partners, JUCAN can continue to generate critical nutrition-related evidence and improve Ethiopians' lives.